Welcome distinguished guests, investors, mentors, students, industry partners, and our founders to Incubate's Class 11 Demo Day. My name is Christopher Michaelides. I'm the Associate Program Manager of Incubate, where I run the Proto Pre-Accelerator for our early stage startups. And I'm also your MC for tonight. Before we begin tonight's Demo Day, we would like to acknowledge and pay respects to the traditional owners of this land, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, where tonight's venue, the RPA Hospital and the University of Sydney, is built upon. Recently, I actually learnt some words in the Gadigal language. They were originally documented by William Dawes, a linguist, as taught to him by an Aboriginal woman, Patjagarang, in the 1790s. And I want to share with you today one of those words. That word was Nangami. And Nangami is a Gadigal word that means a dream. And with our startup founders pitching to you tonight and sharing their own Nangami, we would all ask you to pay respects to the Indigenous people and the Gadigal people's connection to the dream time and the Aboriginal custodianship of this land. At Incubate, our vision is about empowering students to launch their startups and make a big impact. And we encourage you tonight, if you see something that resonates with you, we encourage you to amplify the message of Incubate and spread the word of our startup founders by sharing it on social media to your larger community. And use the account Sydney Incubate and the hashtag as well tonight, and allow us to spread the word to the wider startup community in Sydney, Australia, and perhaps around the world. So these are our dynamic founders from Class 11. They come from the undergraduate, postgraduate, and alumni at the University of Sydney, and they come from nearly every faculty at the University of Sydney. And tonight is the culmination of their 14-week journey in the Incubate Accelerator. And all of this, the demo day today and the Incubate Accelerator, it can only be done through the hard work of the Incubate team. And I encourage you, if you are interested in joining the program or learning more about how to getting involved, please see one of us at the end at the networking session and say hello. So Incubate delivers 4 programs. The Accelerator program here on your far left is what you're here for. It's the final week of the 14-week program, and it is for our more advanced founders and startups. Proto Pre-Accelerator is our 5-week program. It's for our early stage founders and for our early stage ideas, and it is our feeder program into the main Accelerator program. And the third program that Incubate provides is SparkX, where we support entrepreneurial events on campus. And finally is our one-on-one mentoring, where students on campus, whether they're part of one of our set programs or not, can come into our startup hub and ask some advice, share some of our resources, and get some general guidance on their ideas and their development. So over the last 5 years since the founding of Incubate, we've had the consistent support of industry mentors and founder mentors. In addition, each Incubate class of startups receives the in-depth mentoring of an entrepreneur in resident, an EIR, who joins their 14-week Incubate journey. Class 11, though, have been especially lucky to have the benefit of 2 EIRs who are immensely experienced in startups, Mark Pesci and Liz Kalin. I would like to welcome Mark and Liz to the stage. Liz, if I could actually start you off and say, what's the experience of being an EIR and being involved with Incubate?
Well, Hi. You can probably hear me anyway. I'm pretty loud. Okay. Sorry? Yeah?
Is it on?
Hello. Hi. Okay, I'll just keep talking. It says it's on, so when it turns on. So thank you, Christopher. It's been such an incredible experience being part of Incubate this year, being an entrepreneur in residence. I recently sold my tech startup. That was in July of last year. And I have to say, mentoring startups is way easier than running a startup. But it's also been really gratifying because the experience is so new that I feel like I can really empathize with a lot of the challenges that the startups have faced in their 11 weeks. So when they're really excited, I'm really excited. When they're really sad, you try to encourage them because it's only the beginning of a very rocky road, but it's ultimately really rewarding. So thank you so much to the Incubate team, and thank you to the startups for being so awesome this year. It's been great working with you. What has your experience been like, Mark?
Funny you should ask, Liz. Oh, come on, it was a good throw, folks. I have to admit, I hadn't been planning on coming in as an EIR, and I got last minute. I didn't know what I was going to be up for, and I'm looking at you guys. Thank you for an amazing experience, because I found with my best teaching experiences, you end up learning as much as you teach, and it's made me a better business person. It's made me more rigorous about how I think about my business, and it's also helped me, again, you were on the roller coaster ride with you lovely folks, but you at the same time we're in your corner, and it's felt really good to see you grow and to be there every week and to see how you've smashed through a goal, or you solved a problem, or you figured out how to do something and how it's changed what you do. And the fact is that you're not quite doing what you came in to do, but you understand what you're doing now. And that, to me, that's amazing. So I think, from my point of view, if you ever get the chance to EIR here, you should take it.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank
Okay,
you.
well, thank you, Liz. Okay, so now we get to the meat of it. 8 startups, 4 minutes apiece. I'm going to start with Marina Lashova and Go Personal.
Hi everyone, my name is Marina Lashova and I'm the co-founder of Go Personal. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you opened a mass marketing email? Last year, I was faced with a really challenging task of I was volunteering at a charity, and I was faced with a really challenging task of getting through to our donors and getting them involved in the various campaigns organized by the charity. That inspired me to research more effective ways of customer outreach. And I learned the power of video marketing and the demand that is out there for video content right now. In fact, 4 times as many people prefer to watch a video about a product than read about it. And people are no longer interested in boring generic text emails that are not uniquely customized for the audience. So this inspired me to experiment with dynamic personalized videos. So instead of sending generic content, each and every viewer receives their personalized video that speaks to them one-on-one. And we can do this by customizing a template video with customer information from the CRM. And this information can be customized in the form of text, audio, graphics, and even graphs. So if you go personal, you can create personalized videos that address your customers by name, and so much more. And it gets better. These videos can be generated on the fly using real-time data. So your customers can receive their personalized videos just at the right time. For example, right after signing up for your services and receiving a personalized onboarding welcome email, such as this one.
Thank you for registering with Verge Super. Your account is now up and running and ready to use. Let's look at your current balance.
Nice if there was audio, but anyway. So the charity where I was volunteering quickly became our first customer, and their personalized video campaign generated twice as many click-throughs as any other communication with that audience in the past. And this followed by another success story from our second customer. Their Go Personal video campaign generated highest email open and click-through rates than they have ever seen before. So Go Personal's video campaigns not only beat industry rates by a huge margin, your customers will actually become your biggest and most loyal fans. They will look forward to receiving any communication from you instead of habitually deleting your emails. So if you haven't gathered yet, Go Personal is not your regular video company. We don't simply create videos. We create many individual videos that are uniquely customized for that one person. And this is done using our unique technology that we have developed. And the opportunities are massive. The total addressable market size is over $10 billion worldwide. We have already captured a part of this market and generated more than 10,000 videos to date. We have also made almost $14,000, and we are scaling rapidly. We recently signed up 2 large deals, one with an Australian energy provider and the other one with an international fundraising app. So at Go Personal, we charge per video generated, which means an average cost for a campaign for an enterprise business with a large mailing list is approximately $30,000, while an SME is approximately $3,000. Our vision is to be a platform like Canva, a platform that anyone, anywhere can use to create engaging, dynamic, personalized video campaigns. We believe that one-to-all style of videos will soon be a thing of the past. Just as mail merge transformed the way emails are written, we are transforming the way videos are viewed. And we have a great team to make it happen. There's myself, the CEO and co-founder. Mike is our champion full-stack developer with a wealth of experience in video processing and cloud systems. There's also Alfira and Brad. So today, I'd like to ask you to go personal. Tap into your network and introduce us to the CMOs of Optus and Energy Australia. In addition, we are looking to raise $300,000 before the end of the year. This would enable us to build a user-friendly interface that our customers can use to customize their personalized videos. And this will get us well on our way to generating our first $1 million in revenue. So, if you are interested in to learn more about Go Personal or potentially investing in us, come and chat to me afterwards, and let's get this conversation started. Thank you.
Thank you, Marina. Next up, I don't actually think this thing works, but we're going to pretend. Next up, Sam Higgs with Lockitup.
Australia's largest festivals, over 25,000 customers, and almost $500,000 in revenue. It hasn't always been easy though. In 2015, we had some of Australia's largest music festivals. In 2016, they went broke. It was a tough year and I learned a valuable lesson, but I pulled it up and doubled revenue year on year, expecting to continue to do so till we hit critical mass in 2020 to turn this into a $2 million a year business. So let's have a look at why this growth exists and why it is likely to continue. Patrons get a frictionless experience, they get personalized storage and keyless access, while promoters generate tens of thousands of dollars in additional revenue from a hassle-free service that can be added on and integrated with tickets. We provide a B2B service renting our lockers to promoters, event organizers, and venues who on-sell to their customers and patrons. We average $8,000 revenue per event with a 70% gross margin. Now, I'm sure you're wondering how many events there are in Australia. Turns out there's over 80,000 where more than 100 attendees are present. We've calculated the average revenue to be $3,500, putting the Australian market at $280 million. But that's still a drop in the ocean to what we want to do. We are planning on going global, so let's see how we stack up to comparable markets. The UK puts on 200,000 events a year. The US, over 300. The European Union, over 1 million. And our neighbors in the Asia Pacific put on over 3 million events annually. Now you can see this is a huge opportunity, and I'm right at the doorstep knocking. But being first mover is not enough. How are we going to be the ones to scale this business? Well, I wouldn't be a tech startup if I didn't say technology. So over the past 12 months, I've been working on a new smart locker system that is the most advanced and user-friendly on the market. This is key to us scaling as it dramatically reduces our operating costs and the need to invest in human capital. This smart, staffless locker system operates using mobile access with a payment, ticketing, and redemption platform that can be easily integrated into a kiosk, similar to what you'd see at a Qantas check-in. When I was young, I wanted to be a lawyer, and then I wanted to be an engineer. At no stage did I think I wanted to be the locker guy. However, since starting this business and talking to that many people who have a big problem and being the one who's able to solve that problem, I've never been prouder and honor that title. I plan to grow this business and see it through to the end because I'm passionate about it and I'm passionate about events and lockers. Thank you. But I couldn't have done this alone, so I guess I don't get all the applause. Because the guys behind me here have been instrumental in the direction, and I can't thank them enough for the mistakes that I haven't made because of the advice that they have given. And so before I leave, I'm always looking for a new way to scale and grow the business. So while I have you in the room, I've got to ask, if you know anyone that would make a strategic partner or could benefit from a relationship with us, please come see me later and say hi to the locker guy. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you. That's it. I'm calling you the locker guy from now on. Sam the locker guy. Next up, Michael Baskin with Woomates. Big green button.
Hi guys, I'm Michael Baskin, and I'm here to tell you about the newest innovation in student accommodation, Woomates.com. We're an online platform that allows international students to match up and as a group move into a fully furnished, all-inclusive property together for the 3 to 12 month period that they're going to be studying abroad. Now during my semester abroad last year in Tel Aviv, I experienced this problem firsthand, and it was impossible to find a place. I'm sure many of you have also experienced this problem when moving to a new city. After weeks of searching, I felt completely defeated until myself and another international student stumbled across the perfect 4-bedroom apartment by the beach for rent. We quickly posted on Facebook that we're looking for 2 other students to join us in renting this place, and we were inundated with responses. We managed to move in with hand-selected roommates in the perfect property, and we did so well within our budget. It was out of this experience that the idea of group accommodation for international students was born. Now, Australia is experiencing a student accommodation crisis, with 90% of the international students arriving in our shores without a place to stay on their first night. There is a huge undersupply of accommodation, particularly for 3 to 12-month rentals. So where do these students find a place to stay? Well, for those that aren't lucky enough to find purpose-built student accommodation, either because it's too expensive, doesn't fit their lifestyle, or they couldn't find a bed, the vast majority of international students will find a room in a share house through websites such as Gumtree or flatmates.com.au. Divya is one such example who went to inspect about 10 properties recently. This was a place she went to look at just up the road in Ultimo, which had 10 people sleeping on bunks in 1 bedroom. Another place advertised as a granny flat turned out to be a rusty old caravan, and someone in Campsie offered her part of his garage as a room. Now, Woomates has, through research and testing, has developed the most affordable, personalized, and easy student accommodation option available to students. Students simply log in, match up with other students based on preferences such as age, gender, and budget, and then form small groups of 2 to 5 students. As a group, they can select, pre-book, and move into any one of our student properties optimized for the student lifestyle with all bills included. Not only this, but we can do so at up to $300 per week cheaper than purpose-built student accommodation. There are 624,000 international students that arrived on our shores last year, making education Australia's 3rd largest export. These international students alone spent $8 billion on accommodation just in Australia. The numbers are huge and growing each year, so affordable student accommodation is a super exciting space to be in at the moment. So recently we received about 500 student sign-ups, and now we're looking at the supply side and are building our inventory of properties. We've recently serviced and hold long-term leases on 2 Woomates properties and are accommodating 8 students in Woomates properties. We've also got a pipeline of 20 properties that will become available throughout this year, and we're looking to increase this number to 100 properties by February next year with a global vision for the future. So before founding Woomates, I was actually a karate athlete representing Australia between 2013 to 16 in the Commonwealth Championships and World Youth Cup. And along with great advisors such as Bede Moore and the work ethic of a national athlete, Woomates is on track to make a huge splash in student accommodation this year. Now, as we improve the service, we are looking to increase our inventory, as I mentioned earlier. So if you know any property managers, landlords, friends that are renting out their properties, please come and talk to me. We're also increasing our team. So if you've ever had this problem and would like to be part of an extremely exciting solution to it, I'll be around after this, of course, as well. Now, as we increase the properties to 100 next year, we are going to be looking for funding later this year, just in order to service the properties, maintain and build the website, and make sure that the service is optimized perfectly for the students. Thank you so much for listening and hearing about Woomates, where we're solving the biggest problem facing Australia's 3rd largest export.
There you go. And in fact, the house that I used to live in Chippendale, which was basically a 1-bedroom, was sold by the landlord, and all of a sudden there were 6 students living in it. True story. All right. Next up, Elena Korolkova with Sponte.
Hi. Good idea. Big green button, right? Yes, fantastic. Hi, my name is Elena, and I'm the founder of Sponte, Spontaneous Adventure Community. And today, I'll tell you the story of how I built a business that is now generating client lifetime value of 37 times the acquisition cost. I arrived to Australia from Russia 14 years ago. I didn't know anyone, and I had no idea how to connect to people. So being naturally outdoorsy and adventurous, I decided to try different activities in hopes of meeting people just like myself. So I learned to surf. This is me on my first ever wave. Still alone. Wondering to myself, where the heck is everyone? It was still so difficult to connect to outdoor-minded people, and all existing platforms were overcrowded by non-adventurous and targeting tourists and taking them to tourist activities. So I decided to create a platform of my own for people just like myself. This is the first ever Sponte event, my weekly girls' sunrise paddle out. 6 months later, and we have caught over 1,000 waves together and have a community of 50 dedicated surf chicks. In fact, in Australia, there's a lot of people looking for Spontes just like this one. According to Australian Bureau of Statistics, there's 4.6 million of people outdoor and active right now, of which we're only targeting 1.6 million of people just like me. In America, the number is actually 20 times larger, and there is nowhere for these people to go, connect, and find adventures together. Platforms like Meetup and alike are overcrowded, they're not focusing on outdoor community, and flogged with businesses. So Sponte is for those people. On Sponte, you can easily find adventures around you that are local and non-touristy and awesome people to do these things with. And tonight, we have a gift for you. We have over 150 active Spontes listed on our site for you to check out. Our business model is very simple. It's a two-sided marketplace where we charge 15% commission on all paid bookings. 80% of our users come through our social channels, and 90% of our hosts come to us through word-of-mouth referral. We have had amazing traction so far. Our statistics are growing, our number of users are growing, there's more and more events getting hosted and more bookings done. But what makes Sponte so unique is how cheap it is for us to acquire users. Our cost per acquisition is just above $1, and it's actually dropping every day because our best marketing acquisition channel is Facebook events, which is actually free. So if Sponte only targeted people just like me, our market would be just over 150 million in Australia. But Sponte is for everyone. It's for every outdoor person out there. So in Australia, our market is just short of $500 million. And in America, it's 6 times larger, which is great. We have a team of 3 looking after the platform, starting with myself, who is the founder and adventurer in charge, and Dale and Abra are looking after technology and design side of the platform. We're very lucky to have 3 successful advisors helping us with the experience and knowledge of the industry. So what is the next adventure for Sponte? Well, our grand vision is to connect 1 billion people globally through adventure by becoming the biggest booking platform for local, non-touristy adventures just around you. And today, we're not asking to raise capital. Today, we're asking for your help to set us up on the journey to connect people through adventure. Do you know marketing managers or program managers in any of these outdoor activewear brands like Kathmandu, Anaconda, Quicksilver, and so on? We want to help them to give more value to their customers by creating brand communities on Sponte and connecting people. Otherwise, if you're interested in hearing about our expansion plans, potentially investing in the future, or partnering with us, come have a chat to me after. In the meantime, stay awesome and come have fun with us.
Halfway there, folks. Next up, Marco Lamb with Blow. Take a leg.
Okay, that's not the... can you turn to the first slide? I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that's the last one. Now that's exciting, right? Yep, that's great. All right, hi everyone. Hope you're well. I'm Marco, founder of Fido, and we are creating the future diagnostic monitoring tools for lymphedema. For those who don't know what's lymphedema, Lymphedema is this. A swelling in your arm and your legs possibly cause disability if not monitored closely or treated early. And the problem here is over 200 million people worldwide having this condition. There's no way for early detection or just continuous monitoring. Why? Well, here's why. This is what they're using globally as a global standard. It's a measuring board for your arm and your legs. They mainly measure circumference. And after that, they write it down on a piece of paper. I guess I don't need to tell you why it's bad for monitoring and diagnostic purpose, right? And because of this, we developed a technology. By the way, it's patent. We have a hardware and software. This is possibly the world's first IoT system that enables doctors to do more accurate diagnostic. We provide data visualization via our dashboard, as well as diagnostic suggestion once we build our database, of course. And that's not the best thing. The best thing is for the first time, we allow patients to do continuous monitoring and also remote monitoring and diagnostic by using our customer's version of this very device. So now, patients do know what happened to them, and they can monitor themselves without going to the hospital. This is how we're going to sell this device. Right now, at early stage, we aim to sell to all the hospitals around the world as a standard equipment, so we gain the trust of the customer as well as the doctors. We are selling $30,000 per device, and also we are charging around $350 per patient per year. That's around $1 per day, which is very affordable in the sense of medical device. And also for market size, since this is a standard tools for the future of diagnostic of lymphedema, we are looking at around 1,300 hospitals around Australia. The total market size is at least $120 million. And also after that, in phase 2, we are going to move to China and USA because, I mean, it's a good device. Why just stay in Australia? That's why we are expanding to China and US in 2020 during the phase 2. That will totally be around $30,000 hospitals in total. And we are looking at around a $3.5 billion contract among all the hospitals together. So right now, what do we do in the 14 weeks, right? The goal is so big, however, our traction is actually pretty good. In just 14 weeks, we actually developed our first generation 2 prototype. We get with over 66% more accurate than the current method. And also, we just secured our clinical trial with Royal Prince Albert Hospital, this very hospital right here you're sitting at. That's pretty good news, right? It's not the best news. The best news is, because of our successful usability testing with Royal Prince Albert Hospital, we just get our first pre-order of 2 devices once we get TGA approval, because, I mean, it's illegal to sell without approval, right? So, yeah, you get it. And, of course, we finished the usability test. And this is feedback from our clinicians at Royal Prince Albert Hospital. This is a direct quote, by the way. It's a pretty good feedback from a 14-week startup. And this is our team. We are a combination of engineer and designer because we believe the future of medical device is not just about helping diagnostic, but actually changing the way of patient living and helping them to have a better life. And that's why we have a designer inside. And I mean, we are a pretty awesome team because we just built our first really good prototype in 14 weeks. And also, we can't do this alone. I mean, we are 3-man teams. And that's why we are asking for help. We are looking for industry connection to help us manufacturing in potential large scale because we are going to scale up very quickly. And also, we are looking for pilot program that will help us to do a pilot program, including 10 hospitals in 12 months' time. And we can test our system capability as well as get more data for our diagnostic suggestion. And also, of course, we need capital to run all that stuff. So we are looking for $680,000. They will extend our runway to 18 months. And actually, at the end of 12 months, it will get us to run the 10 hospital program. And then we can start selling afterwards. Amazing, right? And Fido, like I said, is not just about changing the way of diagnostic. It's about saving people, helping them to get on with their life better. Imagine this, you're a chronic condition patient, you go to hospital every time, and you don't just lost a lot of time doing your own stuff. You can't enjoy life because you're at hospital all the time. And with our technology, we aim to let them to do the remote diagnostic so they can enjoy life more as they're at home enjoying their comfortable lives. So if you're interested, please come chat to me afterwards and create that future fabric together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marco. Next up, David Johnson from Mission Systems.
Thank you, Mark. I'm David Johnson, co-founder of Mission Systems, a company focusing on making robots smarter and more capable. And what I'm here to talk to you about today is TinySAR, what will be the world's smallest airborne imaging radar system. So why is that important? So in a few years, we can imagine drones are going to be flitting around the country and the world doing a number of commercial situations, trying to deliver products, looking at the ground for aerial survey, defense, security applications, things like this. And as you can see, this is Sydney. Sometimes you can't see the ground, so camera systems are limited in that way. So if I just go through and we can have a look at what are some of the problems with camera and indeed laser systems on the drones that are currently doing these tasks today. So first off, camera systems, looking down, it's like a magnifying glass trying to pick out a needle in the haystack if it's looking for something of interest. It's got a very small footprint. It's going to be very slow, take a long time to actually conduct a survey. So one of the aerial survey end users that we spoke to said they typically have to go to do a survey on a farm. Australian farms are big, 6,000 hectares. That can take up to 3 weeks with 2 people to conduct a full survey. And finally, the platforms themselves. For doing this, you've got cameras. They're big, they're heavy, they're expensive, they're fragile, prone to breaking. They cost a lot to start with. So we're talking sort of $30,000 to $80,000 for a platform. Very expensive operations. So what we're trying to do is decrease costs and come up with something which is faster and more efficient. And as I said, in many situations, you can't see the ground at all. So whether it's fog, smoke, dust, number of different things can get in the way that mean that you can't see through this stuff, you can't see the ground. So this is where SAR, synthetic aperture radar, comes in. So a SAR system, essentially it uses platform motion to build up a picture of the ground, which is far greater coverage than a camera system. Up to 20 times the coverage rate for a typical camera looking down. So that means that rather than a 3-week survey, we can do the same survey in under a day. And this technology is very low cost. It's based on automotive radar technology, essentially. That means the platform cost is greatly reduced as well. All the smarts is in the software. So again, customer survey quote on this. It could actually be game-changing both to the survey industry and for the defense and security applications that we're looking at. So what have we done to date? So here on the left-hand side, you can see the second generation prototype that we've built. And there are other existing radars on the market that do this type of thing, but they're much, much bigger, much larger drones. So we've actually got a 10 times size and weight reduction in the radar system that we're building as well. That means that we're not dealing with drones that need to take off from a runway or have multiple people operating them. We can operate with a drone that you can launch from your hand, essentially. So who are we? So I have been Defence Research Lead with the Australian Centre for Field Robotics for the last 4 years, the second largest field robotics group in the world. And I've been working in sensors and avionics for nearly 20 years. My co-founder, David Battle, most recently has been head of unmanned autonomy with DST and is now focusing full-time on this project. So what is our business model? Essentially, we're attempting to leverage as much funding as possible from Australia's Next Gen Tech Fund, worth 1.6 billion over 10 years. And doing a number of defence-related research R&D projects to sort of bootstrap what we're doing here. And our initial product is this TinySAR system, which we're aiming at a price point of around 25k per unit, which has a gross profit margin of about 80%. Traction to date, we've actually got a number of contracts in the pipeline. We have some proprietary IP in the area of software simulation. So we're working with the new Defence CRC in Trusted Autonomous Systems to actually develop that work. And we've also been partnered with the University of Sydney and a number of other small SMEs around the country, including AMSL Aero, to actually provide the SAR system to Army over the next 2 to 3 years. And I'm also pleased to announce that as of this week, we've also partnered with AMSL Aero to develop the autonomy system for Australia's first vertiplane. So this will be a 250 kilo platform enabling logistics for delivery and casualty evacuation from the battlefield. So that brings me to what we're asking for. Essentially, we believe we can get this system to commercial prototype, actually able to sell the system for 2.5 million. That will enable us to hire 5 full-time employees in the software and hardware development area, conduct various iterations of the hardware, and actually perform the flight trials to get us data and get the system to market. Thank you very much.
All right, next up, Dan Palmer from TribeFire.
Thanks, Mark. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for coming down. My name's Dan. I am the co-founder of TribeFire, and we help communities build passion, loyalty, and identity through the sale of team jerseys. So my co-founder Eddie and I are cousins, and we've grown up our whole lives playing sports together. We played at a high level, but recently we started playing more casually with our mates. And it's here that we realized that it's really hard for social sports teams to get their own team jerseys. Usually you rely on whatever you have lying around in your bedroom. So that's why we started TribeFire. We built an online gear designer that made it really easy for teams to come online, design their own jersey, order it, and have it delivered to their doorstep within a month. Over a 5-month period, we generated more than $25,000 of revenue selling gear into 4 countries across the world. But something really interesting happened about a month ago. We were approached by a Facebook group that wanted to sell merchandise to their fans. But they didn't want to sell, traditional cotton t-shirts or mugs or, God forbid, mouse pads. They wanted to sell something that their fans would actually want to wear around with pride. And you see, that's where jerseys are perfect. You see, fans wear jerseys because they're passionate about a certain brand and they feel like they want to show the world that they feel strongly part of that brand's team or community. That's powerful merchandise. We ran an experiment with that Facebook group where we let them sell gear to their members over a weekend without having to buy any stock from us in advance. Over that weekend, they sold more gear than we had sold in the past fortnight. And we didn't have to spend a cent on marketing. And what was even better is that we started to see people posting photos of themselves on the Facebook group wearing the jerseys around. And this is where we started to realize the market for team jerseys is much, much bigger than just sports teams. There are thousands of content creators, brands, movements, and communities out there that want to sell merchandise that actually inspires a sense of passion, actually inspires a sense of team, and actually inspires a sense of identity. We work with these people. We design them jerseys and we build them stores where they don't have to buy any stock and they're able to sell to their members over a timed campaign. They don't have to handle production or fulfillment or customer service, and they earn money from every sale they make. Meanwhile, we no longer market to the end consumer. We don't have to build our own raving fans. We get to tap into these existing massive, passionate communities. The promotional merchandise market is massive. It's $30 billion internationally. But we want to focus on a specific fertile ground of low-hanging fruit, YouTube. There are over 70,000 YouTubers that have at least 100,000 subscribers. And many of these still rely heavily on merchandise as their major stream of revenue. We believe this represents a market of at least $2.8 billion in value. At TribeFire, we've set a very strong target to run campaigns with at least 50 YouTubers with 150,000 subscribers over the next 12 months. We feel like if we can achieve this goal, that represents at least $4 million of revenue for TribeFire. And in fact, we already have our first YouTuber ready to go within the next week. This is our team. I'm Dan, I'm our technical co-founder. I'm also a digital marketer and UI and brand designer. My co-founder, Eddie, has the great misfortune of being my cousin, but he is also a operations manager. He manages our production, fulfillment, and he also oversees the design of all of our gear. We're here today to ask for $450,000 of investment. I built this entire platform myself, but I only learned how to code just over half a year ago. So I know that if we're to scale this as we've planned, we need technical talent on our team so we can build this product more securely so that it can scale, particularly in this period in our roadmap. We know exactly where our product needs to be, and we know exactly how to get it there. We just need help getting there. Because we believe at TribeFire that we can unite communities like these with merchandise that actually inspires a sense of passion, identity, and team. Thank you so much, guys.
So remember, all of you who are running e-commerce websites, hire someone who has never coded before, because apparently it works. Last but not least, Kimberly Bolton and BioKite.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kimberly, co-founder of BioKite. So this is a farm in New South Wales, and I'd like to point your attention to the black strips you can see on the screen. That is plastic. It is being used as a horticultural mulch film for effective weed control. But across Australia, 5,300 tons of this plastic is used each year. And after one growing season, this plastic is simply ripped up off of the ground, and it is really costly for farmers to dispose of this. We recently spoke to a farmer who wanted to clear all his property completely from plastic, and it cost him $1 million to do so. So if you were to take all the plastic waste just from Australian agriculture generated by 1 year and wrapped it around the world, it would go around the circumference 5 times. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, since their gorgeous produce then goes into furthermore single-use plastic packaging. Australia has a plastic problem, and this has severe environmental consequences. But not to fear, because BioKite is here. And we are replacing harmful synthetic plastic with our sustainable, biodegradable plastic alternative. This is BioKite, and this is our first product, our horticultural mulch film. We are looking at other applications for our sustainable plastic as well. Our bioplastic is made out of crustacean shell food waste, of which there are 8 million tons generated each year. Unlike other biodegradable plastics, we have a lower carbon footprint, we are more fit for purpose, and once our bioplastic starts to biodegrade, it actually releases a whole bunch more of other properties as it biodegrades. These include actually improving your soil quality, as well as acting as a slow-release nitrogen fertilizer, ultimately leading to greater crop yields. Furthermore, it is antifungal and protects your plants against harmful diseases, and it retains water in your soil, which is great for drought resistance. Speaking to this last property, we did an experiment where we grew plants under healthy conditions and then stopped watering them completely for over 2 weeks. This is the normal soil plant. This is a plant with our raw materials in it, and this is the BioKite impact. So it truly is our unique formulation that is actually driving these benefits forward. We are selling directly to farmers at around about a $3.70 cost per meter squared. So for your average berry farmer, that would be about $30,000 each year for your entire farm, leaving us with a healthy profit of around $7,500. But even though farmers are paying more for our superior product, they save 20% of their lifetime costs for that area of land. So we're initially targeting the strawberry industry across Australia, since they have the most plastic-intensive crop and it has the highest markup. Then we're going to move into the broader horticultural market across Australia, and then the world is our oyster, or in our case, crustacean shell. We're a uniquely qualified team to bring this product to market. We come from chemistry, agricultural, and business backgrounds, and we're all high-achieving postgraduate students at the University of Sydney. I would like to introduce you to my fabulous co-founders, Jared and Michelle. We really are passionate about solving the plastic issue, and we really believe BioKite is the answer. So, over the past 3 months, we've secured 7 trials. We've also tested 39 different iterations of our plastic material, and we found that it is very diverse. And furthermore, from our first prototype, we've changed our manufacturing process to scale our product 20 times its initial size. And I'm really excited to announce that we have our first trial underway in a farm just outside of Sydney. This is BioKite, and we're testing the properties in comparison to normal synthetic plastic mulch. This is a very exciting current development, but we are looking towards the future. And we need to scale up our manufacturing process in order to deliver to further trials and early adopters. In order to do so, we need money and $310,000 worth. We're also looking for manufacturing mentorship in order to help us throughout this journey. If you have any questions or if you're an interested potential investor, feel free to shoot me an email at kimberly@biokite.com. We are BioKite, truly a bioplastic for a better future. Thank you.
What a great note to end on. Thank you. Let's have another big round of applause for all 8 companies. Y'all did really well. Christopher, over to you.
Thanks very much, Mark, for introducing all our startups. I'd now like to introduce James Alexander, who is the co-founder of INCUBATE 5 years ago and is also our program manager of our accelerator, to give us an update and insight of what our alumni has been doing as well. James.
Thanks, Christopher. Thanks, everyone. Sorry about the microphone situation. As you go into any new venue, just so happens that it might work today. But the live stream is working fine, I've been told. So everyone online, well, you know, you've got Chris for you. That's great. Thanks everyone to our pitches today. I think that was a great job. There's some really interesting companies. I'm not going to hold you guys too long. All I want to do is give you a quick update of some of our alumni. In particular, if I can switch back to the MC presentation. We've got quite a few interesting updates, including we've got 3 startups selected for the Forbes 30 under 30 for this year, which I'm really happy with. So they're across consumer, media, as well as retail. The 3 startups, one of them's on display today. It's called Sponte Design. They're producing an e-ink keyboard which changes depending on the applications you're in. So it's a keyboard with display. It's fantastic. They're also one of the first, one of the first startups to get into the Foxconn accelerator in China. That's him right there. That was the photo shoot they did for the Forbes magazine, which is great. So we're really happy about that. Well done them. Numray, which just came out of our last accelerator, so that was class 10. They are in the Remarkable Accelerator program. That's one of the first accelerators dedicated to helping the disabled sector part of the new initiative around NDIS. And they're producing a device which helps treat cerebral palsy. AMSL is creating a drone that can take off vertically. You saw an image of that in one of the startups. It's a vertiplane, they're calling it. And he got into MuraD, so we're really excited about that. In fact, their model is in the networking space. So if you want to go check it out, you can see it afterwards. Somnium Labs, from our last cohort, is also creating a pillow which is adjustable and has no filler. So a lot of our pillows use memory foam, and that's terrible because it basically just doesn't work after you sleep on it all night. This one is the first fillerless pillow. It's also one of the first startups in Australia to sell pillows. They're on Kickstarter right now. They've blazed past their goal of 20,000. They're at close to 50 now. So if you're looking to buy one, I think the pre-ordering stops today. So I think today's the last day to buy one. That's on Kickstarter. And finally, Abyss Solutions, who's here tonight from Class 6, have officially launched in the USA. And they produce a robot that surveys dams. So usually dams are surveyed manually with eyes and divers, and it's really bad, as you could imagine. This one sends a robot down and gives you much better clarity on all the faults and issues in a dam. And they're now servicing Hoover Dam, so which is pretty amazing. So, yeah. And that's not the only country. UAE and Europe is also being serviced now. So they're actually doing really, really well. So congratulations to that. If you'd like to see some of our achievements, you can go to incubate.org.au/5, and that will bring up a whole list of our achievements for the last 5 years. We've basically picked out 5 highlights from 5 years, so go check that out afterwards. And finally, none of this is possible without a team, and I'd like to introduce someone very special on our team, who this is their last demo day. Please make a very warm welcome to Joe Morrison, the Director, Innovations Program.
Hi everybody. It's not often I get up and speak. I think this is only the second time it's actually happened. We usually, let the startups, as they should, have the spotlight for the night. But in just over a week's time, I start a new role in Perth as the innovation coach at a large company. And I think it's an interesting time to share some thoughts about why that job just would not have existed at the time that we started Incubate back in 2012. So I say we because Incubate is truly a team operation, and what you see here tonight is the cumulative effect of a really dedicated group of staff who work really hard with the startups and alongside the mentors to bring Incubate together as it is. James and I have worked together on Incubate since the beginning. It's a little known fact. We sort of consider, well, I consider us, he's the charismatic one who gets up here and talks on stage, and I make sure that all the stuff happens in the background so that we don't break the law, we don't get sued, and we continue to get funded. So it's definitely, teamwork making the dream work right there. We've been around since 2012. We were lucky enough to have the support of the University of Sydney Union Student Board back then. They had the foresight to say, yeah, this is a really great opportunity, we need to do this. And the university itself came on board as a supporter 3 years ago. So it's truly a partnership to continue to bring these startups to you and also to get them the opportunity to get in front of a room full of influential people. So we're really excited to have been able to bring you 11 classes, and I'm sure the program will continue to go from strength to strength as we move forward. So front of house roles, such as James and Christopher and Mark, are often the ones that are the most acknowledged. And I'd just like to take a moment to acknowledge all the efforts of Lizette Lee, who is hiding at the back there. That is responsible for most of what you see and experience and taste and drink tonight. A very key role, I would say. Someone once said to me recently that managing program operations is a bit like being a plumber. No one cares about what you do until a broken pipe gushes all over your house with unspeakable things everywhere. So thank you, Lizette, for making sure the unspeakable things do not happen. I think the community we've got here is really special, and I'm really going to miss being part of these events and being part of the journey that the startups come through with us. The university, and in particular the Chancellor and the Senate, have been big supporters of what we do, and it's really important, I think, to continue to grow and develop a program like this, and that's why at this point in time I feel like I've taken Incubate through the beginning of its journey, through its first 5 years, and it's now ready for somebody else to come in and work with the team to truly take it to the next level. So there's some exciting times ahead for the team and the program. So I'd like to give hope to all the non-technical founders out there. I am truly not technical, however I seem to be doing okay, so there is hope. And I think that leaders need to recognise the roles that all of the team play bringing something like this together, because without that balance, you simply don't get the results that you need to strive for to be successful. And finally, thank you to all of you. I see a lot of familiar faces in the audience, and I'll come and say hi at drinks. I see some first-timers, and I see, just a really broad cross-section of the startup community who continues to come out and support us. So I want to say thank you for that. And to the students, the ones that I've mentored over the last 10 years and the ones that I've not yet met. University is the best time to start and to build something, because you've got the most opportunity, the least reality, is that a fair thing to say? So just get on and give it a go, because programs like Incubate are here to support you and really help you grow something amazing for your future. The pace of change only seems to be accelerating. As I mentioned, my current job didn't exist 5 years ago, and the job I'm going to certainly didn't. So I think there's some really interesting times for the generations coming through university as to how they're going to face the future of work, but I think it's also really exciting. So I'll miss this, and thank you all for coming along, and please enjoy the rest of the evening.
So thank Joes for many years' help, and yes, this truly would not be possible. There's no way I could be doing it by myself, I can guarantee you that. We do have a small token of appreciation. This is from the team as well as the university. It is a very, very fancy Incubate special bracelet. And if you want to come find it, you have to come see later. It's actually got an academic owl with blue Incubate eyes, so it's pretty cool. This is for you, Jomo. Thanks so much for all your efforts. It's been amazing. We'll get a photo. Quick photo. Why not? You can all. All right. Thanks so much. Over to you, Christopher.
Do I have a... Sorry. It's falling apart. It's falling apart. She's just... we're on the home stretch. Thank you, Joe, for your words. If you are a founder or a future founder and want to be involved in the INCUBATE Accelerator, our applications for the next program are now officially open, which means for Class 12, the next class, applications close June 12th. So Class 12, June 12th. And don't leave it to the last minute. If you've been inspired to solve a problem, inspired by the founders here, but are only in the early stages, I'd like to actually introduce you again to the Proto program. It's for early stage programs, early stage startups, and it's the best way to prepare for the main 14-week accelerator. It's a 5-week non-competitive program, and we welcome you with or without an idea, with or without a team, with or without any technical knowledge or any business skills. All you need is some creativity, some dedication, and a sense of urgency. And actually, the next Proto program is this Monday, and it's not too late to register at incubate.org.au/proto. I'm proud to actually say that 2 of the pitchers who pitched tonight, Marina from Go Personal and Michael from Woomates, actually started in the Proto Pre-Accelerator program and were later then accepted into the main 14-week accelerator. And to actually see them from the idea stage into this startup reality that they've built is just really impressive, and to join them on that journey has been great. We're also really appreciative of the support of Microsoft, who are our sponsors for the Proto program, and their overall dedication to supporting startups with their Microsoft for Founder programs. So thank you to Microsoft for their support. So Incubate's main accelerator is blessed by the contribution of our many, many mentors. And a lot of you are in our audience tonight. And so to you, I would like to say that at the end of each class of Incubate, and we'll be asking you, Class 11, but at the end of each class, we ask the founders to rank what they valued the most out of the accelerator program. out of everything that we provide them in the 14 weeks, and what ranks as the highest. And consistently, every class, the #1 rank is the connection and contribution of the mentors. So on behalf of the startups and the Incubate team, we truly say thank you for your commitment and time for class 1 through to 11, and we look forward to see you again for class 12. And maybe a round of applause for all of our mentors. So we have come to the end of the pitch portion of the evening, and we're now coming towards the networking portion of the night. When you exit from this auditorium, go down the hallway and take a right, and you can follow our volunteers to our networking room, and our startups will join you there. But as we finish, please make your way there, and we'll meet you there after we take some team photographs to celebrate the last week of the accelerator. Until then, thank you for coming, and thank you for your support of the Incubate program.